Hey, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, but especially rising sign, April 2023. It's going to bring you something like, some really good luck to do with property, home, and real estate, and the potential for some real deep developments regarding romantic love, fertility, children, and also success in your own entrepreneurial endeavors, if that's something that you do. Okay. And romance as well. Lots of romance jives stuff going on. Let's talk about how that looks for you in this month of April 2023. If you're new to my channel, I am Lori Lothian. I use the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign house system. I use Hellenistic and Babylonian astrology tools, and I am also into asteroids. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll know why, because I talk about them all the time. Minor asteroids are amazing, as well as fixed stars. By the way, if you want to know more about what I'm doing, I'm teaching my Sky Reader course, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life 8-week course, starts in the middle of April. Jump aboard on the learning train with me. It is a live class. It'll be my third time teaching it, and it'll be the only time I teach it this year, I believe. So if you want to learn astrology to be your own astrologer and use it your own timing, you can jump into that class with me. Also, I have other things I do. I have a Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. I have my Patreon community that gets all my content ad-free ahead of you guys on Patreon, early access ad-free content. Everything you guys see on YouTube happens in Patreon before you get it. That may encourage you to come join me over there and get ad-free instead of the ads that are unfortunately here, but actually pay my paycheck. Okay, let's get going, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to keep this pithy. All these I'm trying for 15 to 20 minutes max. Let's say this. There's a lot going on, but most important, your Capricorns are Saturnian ruled beings, and Saturn is moved into your fifth house. We all talked about that in all the Saturn videos this year, but this time, Saturn in your fifth house is going to have a glow up energy. Not a glow up, is an interesting conversation with Venus, but we're going to get to that in chronological order. Let's start with square one. Number one, let's go. Number one. We have a very auspicious day. I'm jumping straight to the good news that's happening on the 11th of April, in which Jupiter, in its once every 12-year transit through Aries, comes into the heart of the sun and gives you some kind of happy luck, joy, excitement, prosperity vibe. Now, this can be to do with property, selling a home, buying a home, something good happening in your home, expanding your home, luck at home. But it can also have something to do with fourth house matters like legacy wealth. So yes, inheritance money as well, especially with Venus this summer, June through October, moving through your inheritance house. There could be inheritance stories for some Capricorns this year. Now, you have this lucky day on the 11th. You can harness it to make an offer on a house, to put your house on the market, because you bake in this auspicious election energy. So this is a heart of the sun, Jupiter Cazimi to the sun. It's very lucky. So use it proactively for sure, because Jupiter is invisible the end of March through to the beginning of May, and this is going to be that window that everything is much better when it comes to property, land, home, and real estate, legacy, wealth, etc. Could even give you a glow up in the stock markets as well, but I'm just saying the 11th is auspicious, so use it proactively. As the month begins, Mercury will move into the sign of Taurus, and he's going to be there until a crazy ass long time, June 11th. That's Mercury in your romance house. So if you are somebody who is looking for a romance or has one already, there's a lot of communication, maybe even travel involved, because Mercury is a patron of travelers, protector in a romantic situation. But you may also be having a lot of back and forth communication going on with a child in your life, adult or otherwise. So especially a firstborn. So a lot of communications with a child, back and forth, going on. Mercury retrograding April 21st can bring contact from information, emails, phone calls from an old lover, former lover from the past. Mercury direct here just means a lot of discussion, a lot of communication with a romantic person in your life. If you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, Mercury here helps you get everything going in terms of the commerce aspect of your business, understanding the financials and making things work in a better way for you. That's a long transit, basically April 3rd to June 11th, but you need to know because it's here. There's a super lucky window of time that has Mercury and Venus here together between the 3rd and the 11th of April. This can be financially prosperous. This can also be a fertility transit where you or somebody you know, like the one you're with, it gets pregnant. And you get the news that the stick is yes, it's positive pregnancy. The other element that happens with Mercury Venus here is you could win a game of chance. You could win the lottery. This is true for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, but I'd say more so for Cap Rising, but I won't disqualify any of you from this one. So if you're trying to win the lottery, try really hard between April the 3rd and the 11th, when both benefic Venus and the house of her joy, the 5th house, is there with games of chance, dude, Mercury. And what else can I say? It looks like you could win money at that time. And that's very sweet. A sweet, tight window of money win time. Especially with Uranus there, because it's like, oh my God, I won the lottery. Exciting, exhilarating, unexpected, radical shift energy. All right, that's exciting. Hope that some of you Caps win some money. Also, if you're single, and you get this Venus, Uranus, Mercury thing going on April 3rd to the 11th, an exciting, exhilarating, outside the box new romance involving a lot of communication and or travel could be picking up for you on April 3rd to the 11th for single Cap, Sun, and Moon. Now, also, when Mercury retro, I did that. When Venus moves into the sign of Gemini, which she will do on the month, the April 11th timeframe to May 7th, she's going to move into a house that has to do sometimes with money, and she's a money goddess. Also health, and she's benefic. So better health for you, for sure. Less sickness, better health as you move through that window of April 11th to May 7th. But also, you could also be able to pay off debt or have some money owed to you come back to you during that time. So good. It's also good for work, especially if you're working in an office or complex or with other people in the collegiate coworker space. This is going to be more of a sweet, enjoyable, fun time in the workspace. But if you're not working, then it's really more about just feeling really good about your health, really having a lucky break with a pet, getting the most lovely pet you could imagine, beautiful pets from Venus coming through here, debt relief, and some financial good stuff. If you want to rent a property, this is ideal. Venus is a benefic in the house of leasing and renting, and she's flowing to Jupiter in the house of property and real estate. So for some Caps, this is going to look like the ideal window of time, anytime between April 11th and May 7th, to rent a property and know that you sealed the deal, got the best deal possible, found the perfect place, and you're really happy with it. Or to lease out a property to somebody else. It goes both ways. You could find also with Venus here that if you're single, you could start dating. This is the house of dating, and this could be dating somebody that you really, really like, and you're going to feel really drawn to them. And there could be some deep power and some intensity, because April 11th to the 16th, especially if you meet that person, dating them, then Pluto is moved into your second house, and that second house, Pluto, will trine that Venus in the dating house, meaning a very intense, powerful, transformative new relationship could come into your life, especially since Cupido is close to the asteroid Eros at the same time for erotic love. So singletons, wow, this is going to and maybe bring in some new and potent relationship. Pluto in a money house, however, and Venus, a money goddess, in a debt house could also allow you between April 11th and the 16th to eradicate and powerfully pay off any debt, the whole credit card, the entire mortgage, that kind of thing. It can be a very positive financial uplift at that window of time. Next in the narrative, we're going to go chronological. Mars is going to cause some disturbances in your significant other relationship if you're already with someone, and or conflict with a business partner, or a desire to cut away from your clients and marketplace audience and people that you reach out to in your purpose and career. Mars is in his fall in the sign of Cancer, all the way from March 25th to May 20th. Mars can be passive aggressive, argumentative, and challenging with excess emotion. This can be your significant other, not even about you. All of a sudden, your marriage partner or significant live-in partner or long-term committed partner has gone off the rails. They're emotionally unstable is what I'm saying. They may want to cut away from the relationship even. This is for people already in existing relationships. If that happens, you got to kind of breathe through those 6 weeks, because this person is experiencing, they are that Mars, they are that person who's lost their marbles emotionally. They're not easily able to work with their feelings. So either they are passive aggressive, withholding and distant, or just over the top in their emotion, right? So that's coming. So be aware of that. If you're a Capricorn rising, more so. Sun and Moon, yeah, maybe, It's not like you're being punished by this person. So you need to ask them what's up. You need to figure out, why are they having this emotional challenge right now? Mars wants to cut and end things, but it's Cancer, which is, nurturing and supportive energy because it belongs to the moon. So it's a bit of a push-pull going on. So you might say that there's just some turbulence in significant long-term committed love relationships, more particularly for Cap rising. And you can work with that any which way. Mars will come into a sextile, a flowing relationship to Mercury twice this month, April 7 to 10, and later on, April 23rd to 27th. That means that whatever your partner's going through, whatever difficult turbulence they're having, there's something that's trying to happen here that could really open up a corridor of goodness, better conversation, and refined communication to resolve whatever disputes or romantic challenges you two may be having. Finally, possibly watch for fertility transits, and this could be arguments about whether or not we're having that child. For some of you Capricorns who are in that fertility age, men or women, you or your partner may be going through debates about pregnancy and children, whether to have one or to keep a pregnancy. Just saying, okay? Now, later on, and there's going to be Venus sextile Neptune, very dreamy and romantic. Venus is still in your 5th house of romance at the time. Neptune is in your 3rd house of trips and travel. A leisure trip, a romantic getaway with the one you love is very auspicious on the 7th to the 10th. If you want to do that, that would work really, really well. You can also find that transit can bring up a possible healing or harmony with a sibling, some kind of dreamy connection to an aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew, and some kind of business up level. If your online business is something you do, that could be a really nice breakthrough in your business model regarding things you're doing online. And that's the 7th and 10th of April. And I have a client in like 10 minutes and they're already in the Zoom room. Some people are very anxious to be there early. We're just going to cut that out. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know why they're there that early. Moving on then, there's a tiff. Oh, yeah, there's an argument between Venus and Saturn, and that's on the 14th and 15th of the month. By now, Venus has moved into your zone of your chart that has to do with leases, tenants, and pets, and work habits and health. And so there's some conversation of difficulty going on to do with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, or trips or travel, and local neighborhood stuff in Venus. And just pay attention to potential disputes as well when it comes to things to do with legal contracts, to do with leases, and things to do with your local neighborhood. It's a tiny little window of the 14th and 15th. It won't last long. Just breathe through that. April 23rd to 27th, you have the Sun sextiling Saturn, and Sun in Taurus, your romance, children, and fertility and independent business house, with Saturn in the part of the sky that is 3rd house matters. There is a flow that could give you a solid new direction on an online business structure, a website, something to do with the way you want to promote your stuff, also things to do with travel, especially for fun or enjoyment, and the potential for some kind of positive, vitalizing, rejoicing, solid energy. Now, Saturn is also sometimes a person. And so an elder or an authority figure is blessing you with regards to creative and financial matters if you have your own business and or if you're using the online world, okay? Saturn can represent a sibling who's older and some positive developments with that sibling as it applies to 5th house matters. Again, trips, travel are potentially what we're talking about. Now, there is an eclipse coming on April the 20th, and I don't talk about the eclipses really in this video in any depth, but I will. Oh, wait, did I talk about the end of the month? Mars sextiles Uranus on the 28th to the 30th. Mars in the house of your spouse or significant other or business partnerships, and a surprise in the 5th house. Again, I hope it's not a surprise pregnancy if you don't want that, but there could be some romantic surprise coming through the sky or some financial luck surprise that benefits both you and your business and or romantic partner in the last 3 days of April. Finally, you could also say that that eclipse coming through the Aries part of your sky is going to move you. A lot of you won't be living where you're living in the same property or same home because the eclipse of April 20th at 6 month involves a change, likely a new beginning in where you live. It's a solar eclipse. It's total. It's at the 29th degree of Aries. And there's some connection to children, romance, or business enterprise as it applies to your move. So we'll be talking more about that in the all signs reading. This is especially true if you're a Cap sun, moon, or rising around 25 to 29 degrees. There's something about April 20th that's going to change your location in a very significant and likely lasting way as to where you are going to live in the world. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more. Check out my description box, like, subscribe. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.